Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Reverend Donna Seraphina. I would like to clear up some of the rumors going around on the case of Bryan Kohberger. Here's why Dylan and Bethany's stories seem to conflict on how the killer exited the house. When I was doing the reading, which I uploaded on 11/22/22, I stated that I saw the killer go out the back door, walk around on the concrete outside the sliding door, and then turn around and walk back in the house and down the stairs and out the front door. That confirms both young ladies' stories. But what I forgot to tell you in my last video, which you can find in my Idaho 4 playlist, what I forgot to tell you was that I saw Bryan in the kitchen and he was like this. He had the knife all the way out, ready to use it, okay? So when he entered that house, when he opened that sliding door, he had the knife unsheathed and he went in. And everything he did. Now, after it was over and he was going to leave, he went out the back door. He walked in a circle looking for his knife sheath because that's where he unsheathed his knife. And then he didn't see it there. And because he was parked out on the street and around the corner, out the front of the house, then he turned around and came back in the house and he went down the front stairs, and that's where Bethany Funke sees him take off his coveralls and put them in a bag. Now think about this. For those people that continue to insist that Bryan was parked in that upper parking lot, I'm sure he was parked up there at various times watching those girls and planning, and I believe he actually had entered the house prior to the killing. But some people insist because it would be convenient if you could park up there and just go right in. It would also be convenient if you were a runner to be able to escape as well, and probably on a Saturday, Sunday morning at 4 a.m., probably most of those slots were taken anyways. But let's just think about it this way. If he had really been parked in the back on that upper parking lot, why would he go out the front door? Why would you go out the front door and then have to walk up that icy street to your car? Why not just, when you went back outside and out the back door to look for your knife sheath, why not just walk over to your car then? He didn't have any more business in the house. He had given up his time. Okay, so this is another thing. That's point one. The second thing is, I believe that Bryan had himself on a time schedule. And when I kept hearing waiting for Maddie in that reading, waiting for Maddie, I believe he was waiting for Maddie to turn off her light. I don't believe she was the target. I believe the target one was all these girls he could not have. One, remember? I said that in the reading. But secondly, it was Kaylee who came through in my pool party reading, and with Xana Kernodle, which I put out days before Nancy Grace, about 9 days before Nancy Grace found that neighbor that talked about the pool party, I put out a reading about that pool party. If you look at my playlist and look at the dates, okay? I believe, I don't know if Bryan saw her there first or if he saw her downtown first. But I have him doing something offensive to her at the pool party, and I have him following her downtown. For me, that's a stalker. By almost any definition in the United States, Bryan Kohberger, in my opinion, is a stalker. Idaho law defines stalker as somebody you know, somebody that's bothering you, and somebody you made a police report about. But we know Kaylee didn't know his name, and most likely didn't know his name, and the guy at the vape shop, right before she gets murdered, says that they were talking about her having a stalker, okay? In my opinion, Bryan's a stalker. So check my playlist. I have a video called Stalker that explains that. I also have a video called Motive that explains that. And honestly, I was connected to his brain. They had me connected to this guy's brain while he was doing this. I know exactly what he was thinking. Now, the latest rumor that's going around is trying to vilify the innocent victim a 20-year-old named Dylan. Why? Because she went out and partied on a Saturday night? Or because she went in her room and maybe told herself it was nothing and went to sleep 8 hours? Oh, why is it 8 hours? Well, that's the average time people sleep. I mean, really, stop insulting the victims. Stop re-victimizing people. Can you imagine the hell they're going through? And they would be dead if, when I was seeing Bryan going around the block in my reading before it was ever made public, I was hearing waiting for Maddie and waiting for Maddie. Well, I believe he was waiting for her to turn her light out. And then he had to wait for the DoorDash driver. It's taking up all his time. I believe those other two girls would be dead if not, because in that reading, just like done like a week after the murders, before they ever got solved, in that reading, I'm saying that he wanted to go kill those other two girls, but that he had only given himself an allotted amount of time to do all this, and he had used up the time. He had to go. And that's why he went out the back door, looked for his knife sheath, turned around, circled around, came in, went out the front door, and where Bethany sees him go out the front door, it's the same person. And the neighbors verified that on Fox News. On Fox News, around January 5th, around all that time period, the Fox News was interviewing neighbors, and the neighbors said that they noticed that their door was wide open at 7 or 8 in the morning, and they noted it, how strange it was, because it was freezing cold outside. The latest thing going around now is that Dylan said he was carrying something and she thought it might be a vacuum cleaner. If you listen to my reading again, there's unspeakable horror in there that is not necessary for me to repeat. Now, at the time it was necessary because law enforcement was looking for somebody and I needed to be shown this is a serial killer. This isn't an ex-boyfriend, this is a serial killer. Okay? And they showed me him taking a body part, taking some blood, and everyone's like, oh, yeah. What do you think was in that kill bag he had? See, he had a different fantasy, which I addressed in that video too. He had a fantasy, but that didn't work out. There were time constraints. I believe Bryan Kohberger is 100% guilty. There's no doubt in my mind, and we'll talk more later. All right? In the meantime, if you would please make sure you're subscribed, we've checked the notification bell. If you leave a comment and a like on the video, YouTube will share it out. And if you share it out, that's even better. And thank you so much for joining me. All right, have a great day.